Good morning, good morning, good morning to NLB. Thank you for being here today. I appreciate you more than you know. You know, it's an honor when I get a chance to present to my brothers and sisters in business for themselves. And thank you, Lamont, for allowing me to present to the whole NLB. And I hope that the information I shared today is going to help you. All right. So this is a customer acquisition training for agents. All right. How to prepare your business and attract new clients. Right. Because it is a two-part process. Right. So I mentioned this before in the training I did last week. The biggest thing you have to do is you have to open up for business. Right. You have to be prepared to do business. How frustrating have you guys been? And I know everyone has experienced this when you walk into a restaurant, and I hate to say it, but I'll use Caribbean restaurants, right? When you go in there and you want to order something and they don't have any more, or you go into a store attempting to purchase something and they're sold out, or even worse, let's say you go to, I don't know, you go to buy something and you get there early in the morning and they're not open or they're closed or what have you, right? How frustrating is that? So the first thing you have to do is make sure that you open up for business. Hey, Tyrone, thank you for coming.
All right.
Um, so let's get in position to do business, right? Um, First things you have to do is you have to get licensed, right? Everyone here is licensed, so I don't have to go too far into that, but we do have people that are not licensed that still have to go through the process. That is the first thing you need to do is get in position by getting licensed. Once you are licensed, you need to get contracted. Um, and I put it in the wrong place, but when you're getting contracted, you have to have your E&O training, right? Not E&O training, E&O insurance, errors and omissions insurance, highly important so that you can actually do business, right? And then once you get contracted with the carriers, you have to do their product training. Each carrier has their own specific product training that you have to finish in order for you to write business, right? So these things on the left are highly important. Um, it's not contracts, contracted, excuse me, for the error in spelling. Um, but these things are what you have to do to get the doors open, right? Once you have the doors open, you now have to develop how your business looks. You need to create business cards and social media, right? And I'm going to get into all of this and as we go through it. So here's the startup cost for those that need to get licensed, right? If you want to get licensed, the course is about $140. We can get you discounts on the course depending on what level you decide, because there's multiple things you can do, such as purchasing a physical book or physical flashcards. Of course, that's going to increase the price. If you just go completely digital, it'll be a little less than this. But
Hey
that's
Joe, could I kind of jump in there?
yes,
You're looking at an average cost of about 99 bucks or less. And
99.
that's including the because we have a partnership that we have with Paul and Destination for Education.
Mhm.
So $99, and that's with NLB only. That's what makes us different. So the
Well,
average is you're right, but with NLB, 99, that's gonna include the book. If you don't want the book, it'll be 79.
I wrote the 140 down, and I was aware of that. If you decide to purchase the physical copies, because the 99 cost is digital only access. But you're absolutely right. It is 99 with digital access only. And then the state exam is about $60, right? E&O insurance is about between $40 to $60 a month. Getting contracted, we generally use Ameritas, Ethos, and Gerber. Those are the companies that we contract. Why is my contracted continuing to drop T's? I don't know. It must be an error as I was putting this together. Um, then you're going to get the product training. As I mentioned, each carrier has their own online training that you must finish, right? As an independent agent, these carriers make it very easy for you to run your business from home. They everything they allow you to do is online, so it's great. Now let's talk about developing your business, right? And I learned this from a mortgage rep when I was in banking because he asked me for my business card and I didn't have one. And he said, "Oh man," he said, "listen, a business with no sign is a sign of no business." And I have never forgotten that to this day. I make sure now I always have business cards on me, right? So you want to develop your business cards, but it's not just your business cards. You want to create a business email address. You want to change your voicemail on your phone to sound professional. You should consider setting up a website or at least business profiles on social media, right? Now, on the social media side of the game, you have to get involved with social media. You have to get involved with social media, right? You want to create Facebook, Twitter, IG, TikTok, maybe so much, not so much, but it is a popular platform, right? And the reason is because customers are going to visit your social media several times a day. Everyone that has social media, when they wake up in the morning, they log on to social media. Throughout the day, they're checking on their friends. Lunchtime, they're back on social media for sure. Throughout the day, they might get pop-ups. Somebody sending them videos to look at. When they leave work, back on social media. You see what I'm saying? They're on social media 3, 4, 5, 6 times a day. You can have a website. They're only going to visit your website one time, maybe twice when they actually need something. So you have to make sure that you are where they are, right? You have to go where the fish are, and the fish are in the social media pond, right? Now, just having an account is not enough. You do have to be active on social media. And I'm not saying that you need to post every single day because you don't want to be spammy, but you do want to make sure that you add accounts that are similar to your business and your interest, right? You want to be positive and you want to be inspirational and you want to be active, right? I don't post every single day on my account, but I do go on the account every day and I interact with other people that are in finance. They may not be doing insurance, but they may be, doing something with mortgages, or they may be doing something uh, with a different type of insurance. They may be doing something with banking, or they might just be just generally trying to encourage everyone to help out. Um, so this it's really really great to have a social media account because it's going to help you move forward, right? Now, the reason you want to have the social media and you want to interact with people is because social media can become a free funnel, right? You're going to use the social media to guide them to contact you via email, phone call, or inboxing, right? Because you're going to post something, somebody's going to have a question. You're going to repost something, and somebody's going to follow you because they like the inspirational things you do. You know, you're going to comment something on somebody else's profile and engage in conversations with people you don't know, which could lead to business. I have done all three, and I have gotten business all three ways. You have to be active on social media, right? And does it sound like a task? It is. You're in business for yourself, though. So you have to be willing to put in the work. Again, here's the advantages, and here's how I have recognized social media, right? The biggest thing about social media and the biggest advantage is that social media is free. Facebook is a very personal network, right? When you start your Facebook account, you're going to be adding your friends and family generally through the email addresses and phone numbers that you have in your phone, right? So it's a very personal network, and generally the people you have on your Facebook account are going to be the people that you know, right? And it's going to be your friends and friends of your friends. That's how Facebook works. Instagram, same deal, but it's not as personal because while Facebook you can post pictures, quotes, and everything, Instagram primarily is pictures based, right? People are just posting pictures from their parties or their graduations, or they might be trying to be an IG model, or they might just be posting pictures of their product or service, right? It's just pictures. Now they started doing videos and reels, but again, it's not as personal because it's either videos or pictures. And sometimes people put pictures of words, but you guys get the gist. Where Twitter is also not as personal, but it's primarily quotes based, meaning the most of the things that you see on Twitter are short conversations. And in fact, you're limited on Twitter to how many I forget what the word is, but I want to say keystrokes. That might not be the correct word, but basically how many words you can put into one tweet, right? So it's not as personal quote based, but this is how you can use all of these and recognize what they're for to use them to grow. Now, this is how you engage your audience, right? Um, this is where you're going to start with building and getting customers, right? So let's talk about the three main ways you can get business. Friends and family, right? Let's be honest. Nobody wants to ask their friends and family for business. Nobody does because it's annoying. You know how your family is. You know how some of them. I won't even go there, right? Um, but you don't want to ask them for business, right? Because they know that you haven't been in business for long. They're not going to look at you like the expert that you are. But what you can ask them to do is repost your flyers. You can ask them to send friends your way. You can ask them to share your services to somebody else. I rarely ask my friends and family for business, but I make sure that they all know that I'm in business, and I also make sure that they know what I can do. Because what'll happen is if they don't know what you do, they can't send people to you. It just doesn't work. Like you don't go into a store that you don't know what's in there, right? Rarely, unless you go to the mall and you happen to pass a novelty shop and see something, that looks interesting. But 9 times out of 10, if you don't know what that store offers, you're not going in. And you're definitely not referring anybody to go to that store. But your friends and family know you, they love you, they care about you. They will share your flyers. They will repost what you post, right? So make your friends and family a part of your business, not necessarily clients, but make them a part of it, right? Um, you can ask them for business, but I'm going to get into that later. Join some networking groups, right? Again, the name of this business is you have to be in front of people. So you can join groups such as BNI, which is a professional business networking environment. You can join chambers of commerce. You can even just join up with groups that have similar interests to you, such as meetup.com. And Meetup is great because Meetup is free and you can literally type in the things that you're interested in, and it will literally send you groups of people that get together because of similar interests. I found a group, the first time I used this, I found a group that was interested in sci-fi television and movies, right? I'm big into sci-fi. I love Star Wars, Star Trek, Stargate. I'm into, vampires, werewolves, all of that stuff. I love fantasy, Marvel, DC, all of that stuff, right? I'm into it heavy. So I found a group of people that are into it just like me. And we had dinner, we had conversations, and I met about 20 people, right? And it puts me in front of people that I would not otherwise not have a chance to talk to. Now, I don't go in with these groups immediately and passing my business cards, but it allows me to develop a relationship with them, let them know what I do so that it could potentially be business later on, right? That's when you engage in personal conversations. You never want to engage in group conversations about finance because you don't know where everybody is at mentally. Some people have a negative view of finances because they don't understand it. And some people have a positive view, but don't want to necessarily talk about what they have going on in a group setting, right? So join some networking groups. Also, link up with the professionals that you already use, right? Your accountant, your lawyer, your pastor, your former co-workers, any natural groups that you are in. I'm in the fraternity. I definitely market and talk about things to my fraternity brothers and sisters and have written quite a bit of business from them, right? I know O'Neill is in the fraternity, you know, it's a great opportunity to talk to them because these are your natural groups. You know, you could talk to people you go to church with, you could talk to people you played sports with, you could talk to former coworkers because before we became independent, we all worked somewhere, right? And it's a great opportunity to talk to them, um, work with them. You can even incentivize them, right? To work with them. Say, listen, I do offer referral fees if you send me business, right? That's the best way to do it. Because if people are incentivized to help you, they are much more likely to move forward. All right. Let's get back into this. Setting appointments. This is the lifeblood of your business, right? This is the absolutely, if there's anything else that's important to your business as salesmen, right? Because you are salesmen, this part of the business is the most important part, right? Um, because an empty calendar equals empty pockets. And you need to write that down. If you don't write nothing else down, empty calendars equal empty pockets, right? So you want to set goals for how many people that you want to talk to, right? You want to have 10 to 20 conversations every single week so that you can talk about doing business. Here's why. And I'm going to give you what's kind of a standard statistic when it comes to sales, right? Let's say you talk to 10 people, right? Of the 10 people, probably 4 to 5 of them may be interested, right? Of those 4 to 5, you'll probably run appointments with, let's say, 3. Of the 3, one's not going to move forward. 2 of them will move forward, and the chance is one of them may not qualify. So you talk to 10 people, you get 1 sale that's going to go through, right? I'm going to give you some real live numbers, right? An average sale in this business will generate anywhere from, let's say, $800 to $1,000 for you, right? If you are writing 1 policy a week, just 1, and let's say that's $1,000 average, that's a $4,000 increase to your monthly budget. Would $4,000 make a difference in your life? It would in mine. It does in mine, right? $4,000 a month. Let's be honest, it may not be enough for you to quit your job, but it's enough to make a difference, and it'll make you question working a regular job. I can tell you that. Now imagine that's just talking to 10 people a week. Double it up. Talk to 20. If you know you're getting 1 person for every 10 people you talk to, double it up. Now you're making $8,000 a month working from home, working for yourself. $8,000 a month? Listen, that's $96,000 a year. That's enough to quit your job. That's enough to be self-employed. That's enough, depending on where you live, that could change your address. Maybe for those of us here in New York, maybe not so much. but it will get us a better apartment. If you're living down south, 96,000 will get you a nice house. It can make a difference. So if you talk to 20 people, 20 real conversations a week, not just contacting 20 people, 20 people where you actually have a conversation and say, listen, this is what I do. This is how I can help you. Let's talk about running an appointment. Let's have an appointment where we actually sit down and go through this. Let's do it, right? So this is how you get to 20, right? And 2020 is a stretch goal to have 20 appointments a week. Is it possible? Absolutely, right? But let's just say you did 10, right? 10 appointments a week is 2 appointments a day. That's it. You have 1 appointment in the morning where you have a conversation, 1 appointment in the afternoon. That's part-time work. You mean to tell me if I closed 5 of those appointments a week, I can make 5,000 a week? Working part-time? Where else you going to do that? What other business can you literally work part-time where you're only running 2 appointments a day and make that kind of money? Right? I need you guys to see how powerful this business is. Is it easy to get to 10 appointments a week? No, it's not. Not in the beginning. It's not in the beginning, right? It's like a plane that you got to push really hard to get off the ground. But once you get the flying, ooh, the world is yours. I'm telling you, make sure that you're putting people on your calendar. Empty calendar equals empty pockets, right? So let's talk about the personal advantage that you have from your friends and family. As I said, I was going to circle back to that, right? When you're dealing with your friends and family, the advantage that you have is that you know their scenarios. You know what I mean? You may not know exactly the scenario, but you have a good idea. You have an idea of the income range that people are in based on where they live, the kind of car they drive, the kind of clothes that they buy, right? You can tell, when you go out to eat, who's quick to throw out their credit card to help out with the bill, and who's having private conversations asking, yo, you got me this time or whatever. So you have an idea, right? All of those are cues. Since you know their scenarios, you can present ideas and you can solve problems they weren't aware they had. What's a problem they may not be aware they had? Well, someone passes away unexpectedly, right? And they didn't have insurance. May not be you don't want to talk about it right then and there, but sometime afterwards, say, listen, I know that was hard on you. I know that was hard on the family. Let's talk about setting up insurance for yourself, even just a small policy, so your family doesn't have to go through that again. You know the scenario. You can talk to them. And then you're not selling them per se, you're really offering solutions. Because this was a problem they had. Everyone loves when somebody solves a problem for them. So you're offering a solution. Someone just had a baby. Hey, listen, congratulations. Little Johnny's going to be a blessing to the world. Listen, I know you just had the baby. She's only a year old or less than a year, whatever. Listen, college is expensive, right? Let's start talking about a college savings plan. And what you're going to write is a whole life policy. You're going to write a whole life policy. Because guess what? It's going to earn cash value and it's going to be really inexpensive for that child. And by the time they get to college, hey, it'll be some cash value in there. If they don't use it for college, hey, they can use it for buying a home. If they don't use it for buying a home, hey, they can use it for starting a business, right? It's not It's not the same as a 529 plan, but they can only use it for college. They're using it for anything they want. Set up your family for success. That's how you want to talk to these people. Listen, I'm a financial professional. I'm going to help you set your family up for generational wealth. Let's start by planning for your child. That's just a way to open the door. Because guess what? When they get insurance on a child, oh, how much do you have on you, dad? How much do you have on you, mom? Oh yeah, okay. We're gonna do 50,000 for your kid. We need to do the same amount for you. And if you live in New York has a rule you have to have three times what your child has. So let's do 50,000 for you for your kid, and we have to do 150 for you. And it doesn't matter if we do a whole life return, we got you insurance. You can convert it to whole life later if it's expensive. At least you have coverage because you just never know. Someone buys a new home, young families, right? For me, my best market is young families. Why? Because young families are getting started and they're making very strategic financial decisions early in life, and it's usually the first time they're making heavy decisions like this, right? They're buying a home for the first time. They're having children for the first time, right? These are all great opportunities for you to talk about it. If someone's buying a home, listen, congratulations on buying your home. Now that you're set up, I want to make sure that, God forbid, something happens to you or your spouse, that your spouse can stay in the home and that you leave a legacy for your family. That's a term insurance policy, 30-year term. Let's just cover your debts. So at least if you're gone, your family will be able to start from zero and not have any debts. They'll be able to stay in the home and continue to build this legacy in your name. Generational wealth. That's the name of the game, y'all. Generational wealth. Let me just go on. Thank you, Lamont. I see you posted it. An empty calendar equals empty pockets. Absolutely. I went backwards, sorry. When you're talking to your friends and family, and even sometimes clients, you don't want to use insurance jargon, right? So you don't want to say, let's get in an IUL insurance policy. They're going to be like, what? Most of you can't say, let's get an index annuity. What? What are you talking about? Don't use insurance jargon, right? Use phrases that help people understand what the goal is, right? So I wrote down a few, right? Let's listen, let's set up, something where you can have a prepaid funeral, right? That's really a final expense policy, or just a small whole life policy, right? Anything generally 25,000 or less is considered final expense, right? So let's get a prepaid funeral policy for you. They'll understand that. Prepaid funeral policy. Let's set up a college planning program for your kids. They understand that. They understand that they're putting money away for their kids. Oh, and let them know, listen, on top of saving money for college, another benefit is your child will have insurance on them for the rest of their life. Make it as if it's a bonus. You're doing the right thing. You're just explaining it in a manner that they're going to understand. Because let's be honest, most people don't understand insurance. So you want to make sure that you present it in a way that's speaking their language, not yours. Let's do a self-employed retirement plan. You know what that is? That's a life insurance policy where you're heavily cash funding it. I used this and I wrote a policy last summer for a client where I let them know, I knew that they were self-employed. I said, listen, have you considered the self-employed retirement plan? She said, what? What is that? I said, look, I'll tell you what, it's a lot to explain in one 30-second thing. Why don't we set up an appointment? I'll explain to you how it works and we'll move forward. We set up an appointment. I took the same thing that you would put into an IRA. I said, listen, you're in your mid-30s, right? Right now, if you were to open an IRA, you could put up to 5,500 a year into that policy, right? Okay. Instead of putting it into an IRA, let's put it into this policy where not only are you going to earn cash value at a higher rate than what you're going to get in the bank, but you're also going to have the benefit of an insurance plan. God forbid something happens to you, right? So your family's going to benefit in the worst situation. If something happens to you, you're going to put away 5,500 a year into this policy. And guess what? You don't have to wait till retirement to access it. If you need to access it ahead of time, all you got to wait is 2 years. She didn't do the full 5,500, but she did do 3,000 a year.
Joe, I'm sorry, what type of policy is that?
That's a whole life.
Okay.
That's a whole life policy. And sometimes I offer people the insurance policy that you can pay it off.
And what did you call it again?
Self-employed retirement plan.
Okay. And it's building up cash accumulation, and she has to use the money before okay. All right. She has to use the money before she passes.
Right.
That's what you're using it for. Okay. All right.
Yeah. I don't say it that way.
No, I just wanted to kind of put two and two together because I
Right.
mean, it can also be an IUL as well. But I see what you're doing as well. So
Right.
that's good.
Right. I don't normally go into IULs because when I even explain them and I explain all the benefits, most people don't understand it.
I
And
mean,
I always go through with IULs and stuff like that.
IUL, or just add one piece to the IUL. IUL, two pieces, and you kind of made mention of it. One is the same thing as you just explained it just now.
Mhm,
The other two pieces you're adding to the IUL is overfunding
mhm.
and creating a lifetime income. Simple as that.
Simple as that. Simple as that. What I explain to them, because let's be honest, we primarily use Emeritus, right? As of this date, we primarily use Emeritus. At least I do. With the Emeritus Whole Life program, particularly the Growth Whole Life, after 20 years, the cash value is about equal to what they would have put into the policy over that 20 years. So it's basically they can pull out all the money that they've ever put into that policy, and it basically be a return of premium and still have life insurance. Because if you take it out as a loan against the policy, the insurance is still in place, and now they still have cash value. And the
You
benefit,
definitely do that. Also, like I'm saying, also because I use Emeritus as well, just to add to it, just to because this is really going to help everybody. If you use that same policy that you're using for the whole life, if you also go over to the IUL, which is from Emeritus, you got three versions. You got a value, you got an intermediate, and you got a growth. You can also, within the same 20 years, like you said, kind of use that as a ROP. Matter of fact, you're overfunding it. So it might even be before the 20 years is done, right? You can get that money back. Plus, it's still going to build up cash accumulation because of interest and compounding interest. The beauty of it is, depending on when you get it, you literally allow a certain age, say retirement age, where you can stop, continue insurance, but also get lifetime income every month for the rest of your life. So that's what I was saying. If you could add that to what you're doing, and give those two options to your clients, it might even, just a little bit more in your arsenal.
Yeah, it's the same thing as like a 10 pay or 20 pay. It's just, whether you use an IUL, you just set it up a little different, or if you use a whole life. I tend to lean. I know you love IULs and ULs. I like the whole life, but either way, it's the
I do a
same.
lot of everything, to be honest with you, but
Yeah,
just to put more in your arsenal.
right. Exactly. And listen, these are ideas to help you guys grow, right? So we just gave you guys several plans and several ways to present an idea. It's a great way to present an idea, right? So now here's how you need to run and start setting up your calendars, right? You want to make appointments daily. Every day your goal should be to set up 1 to 2 appointments for the future if you're not running an appointment, right? You want to set up at least 1 to 2 appointments every day for the future, right? And that's not that hard. You just got to talk to a few people and say, listen, why don't we sit down and go over this, right? You have to set your working hours and work those hours, right? Generally, for me, I'm not a morning person, right? So I generally work from about 11 to about 6. Those are my working hours, right? Now, if somebody calls me before then, you better believe I'm gonna take that call. Or somebody needs to meet before then, yeah, I'm gonna adjust my schedule to work with them. But I generally don't set up appointments before 11 a.m. And I don't set up appointments for later than 5 because I want to be done at 6 o'clock, right? I'm working part-time, guys. That's about 6 hours a day. That's 30 hours a week. And I'll be honest, I'm not working the full 6 hours on a Friday, for sure, right? And I'm doing all right. I'm not doing as good as I want to be, because I'm still building and getting my plane lifted off the ground, just like all of us, but I'm doing okay, right? And because I'm consistent with working, I'm consistent with writing business. You got to be consistently working to consistently write business. That's how it works. Okay. So when you're talking with people, always have your calendar ready. Always have your calendar in front of you. I personally use Google Calendar or iCalendar because it's digital. It's on my phone. It's on my computer. It's everywhere I go. Right. Um, and when I talk to them, I offer them 2 appointments time. Okay, Tyrone. So listen, we're going to talk about this. How does Tuesday morning work or Wednesday afternoon?
Yeah, this do the earlier the better for me. Tuesday morning.
Tuesday morning. Okay. How does 11 o'clock work?
Fantastic.
Great. Tuesday at 11, we're going to sit down. We're going to discuss this, right? Let them know exactly what it is. We're going to recap this idea on Tuesday, right? If you're talking about retirement planning, right, they're going to need to do a little work. Say, listen, when we talk on Tuesday, Tyrone, if you can, try to have your retirement plan, at least a statement, so I can kind of see what's going on. And if you can send it to me beforehand, that'll be great, because then I can do my homework and have everything ready for you on Tuesday. Could you do that for me, Tyrone? Could you send me a statement?
Yeah, I think I can get that done.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'll have everything ready for you Tuesday morning, and we'll move from there. Boom. Now you can do your homework. You can look at this scenario, and you can talk about what you can do for them. Makes it real easy once you know exactly what's going on and you have information in front of you already. But you want to stress the appointment times, and you want to sound like your time is important, because it is. Your time is important, right? So and then when they say, oh, I don't know about Tuesday or Wednesday, I'll say, listen, all right, you got to give me a specific time, because I do have other clients that I'm working with, and I want to make sure that I give you your proper time so that I can help you efficiently, right? I don't need a lot of your time. If they sound like they're really busy, okay, just give me 15, 20 minutes. Give me 15, 20 minutes on Tuesday. We'll get in and out. We'll go over some quick information, and then you have information to work with, and you can make a decision later, right?
Mhm.
You can make a decision later. Here's a great thing that any one of you can do. Let's partner, right? Lamont or myself will partner with any one of you to help you grow. If you have a client and they have a scenario that you may not know how to come and attack with, contact me and Lamont. We will run a joint appointment with you.
Don't be volunteering me. Let's just play. I'm so playing.
I know. We will run this appointments with you, right? We both have a ton of experience, years of experience in the business, and we will help you work with that client, right? And here's why partnership, here's the pros and cons, right? I won't even say it's a con, but it's a consideration, right? It's better to share than to lose business. And I'm gonna say it again, it's better to share than to lose business, right? Lamont and I, we don't get paid to do these trainings, right? Our goal is to help you grow so that we can grow. So if we come on an appointment with you, the standard understanding is that we're going to split business 50-50, right? And some people, I've had people that I tried to work with, they don't want to split. They say, oh, that's not fair, blah, blah, blah. Well, it actually is, because you're bringing them to the table. I'm knocking it down. You're setting up the bowling pins and I'm going to knock it down for you, right? While you're basically getting paid for me to train you, because that's what it is, it's field training. Because everything that's in my skill set, I'm going to use to close the business. You, sir, ma'am, can take everything that I used and now add it to your wheelhouse. Because you're going to see how I do it. You're going to see the conversation strategy. You're going to see how I handle the customer, and you can learn from it yourself, right? Or it may just be something that you just don't do, right? I know I have several licenses that not everyone has. I can write mutual funds, right? If you're looking for somebody who wants to invest money, but not necessarily lock it up for, 5-7 years like annuities, okay, let's put them in a mutual fund. I can help you with that. And we partner up and you'll get paid on it. That's how that works. It's field training. It's paid field training. It's literally you get paid to learn. And there's no other industry that can help you that way, where we both benefit and you get paid to learn how to be better.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a really, really great opportunity for partnership, right? At this point, I'm going to open the floor for questions. Do you guys have any questions? Do you have anything that you want to talk about? Let me know how you feel.
Well, to begin with, that was a great presentation. The way
Thank
that you
you.
broke it down, it was very, very informative, and you broke it down so you can understand it. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And as far as the sharing part, that should not be a heartfelt thing, because you may, like you said, you how, in other words, how can I put this? You may get the client and everything, but you don't have the experience, or you don't have the time to do the leg work. Then, I mean, come on, because basically it's a 50-50 win.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how it works. That's how it works in real life, basically. So I agree with you 100%. And that's just the way I am. If you're going to work it and get it done, then I mean, you get it done. You get it done. It's a training, and you're getting paid on the job training. What more can you ask for?
Right.
So,
Absolutely.
I agree with that, man.
Thank you. And like I said, I wanted to address it because I did have an issue with someone that I attempted to bring into the team, and they weren't licensed, they weren't trained, they didn't know anything about the business. And I said, listen, even while you're in training, if you come across people, listen, I'll share business with you. And her response was, no, I'd rather write it myself. Okay. Okay. I'm not going to argue with you, but you could be getting paid while you're still in training.
True that.
You could be getting paid to write business, because you may have the skill set to write a $50 a month policy. But once you hear how I talk to a client, I might increase that, that policy to $200 a month just by presenting several options that you didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
I could change your mindset.
Absolutely.
So, and I'll be honest, and I said this because years ago when I first came into this business, that was my mindset. Like, I'm not sharing business. What am I doing? But then I realized quickly that when I did share and I actually worked with people who were smarter than me, yeah, I didn't make as much immediately, but my long-term growth significantly increased because I learned some things. I learned some things that I didn't know. I learned some concepts that I hadn't thought about. So it was really, really important and really informative that I shared business 1 or 2 times so that I could increase my revenue exponentially going forward.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
that's true.
I'm gonna stop the screen share because I want to see faces because I can't really see y'all right now. Um, and like I said, the floor is open for questions, comments, whatever you feel.
And I think it's an important coverage that you did with friends and family. Friends and family is a great resource. They're not going to make you rich, but the referrals might point you in that right direction.
Right.
So, it's, a lot of, and I remember starting out, I started with friends and family because you have that connection with them and they're comfortable. So they're a great way to practice your spiel. It's a great way to practice your business talk. It's a great practice ground for you. Not going to make you rich, but it's definitely going to help prepare you to when you have that referral that you are more comfortable speaking to that person. So definitely, you did a great point in leveraging friends and family for that purpose.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Also, Joe, on another note, you just informed me that you do mutual funds.
Yes.
All right. I'm going to add that to my, my portfolio or my services. So if it comes in, trust me, you the go-to guy. So I hope you don't mind that.
No.
Okay, good. Yeah, I want to add that.
Listen, the same rules apply. We split business down the middle, and everybody wins.
Right. Okay.
And
likewise, is Lamont, if you're still there and you still got contact with the mortgage thing and someone with the mortgage thing, I'm gonna put it out there. I'm gonna put it out there. Because if you got it, flaunt it.
See, here's the advantage of having a group like this, right? Everybody here brings certain skills to the table, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because of Lamont, I can say I have an IT and graphic designer in my wheelhouse and as a part of my business that I can refer people to him outside of finances. Right. I can tell people, listen, we have a professional trainer, because Lamont is great at getting everybody together and being organized about running these meetings. That's Lamont. O'Neal has hella experience in banking.
Great.
He has tons of experience with that. He was a manager of multiple branches. Hell, when I started in banking, O'Neal was the branch manager.
That's good.
You know what I mean? That's how far back O'Neal and I go.
I lost a very close cousin to COVID, believe it or not, and it just really took the family by surprise. But sometimes you got to busy yourself with other things to think about, real world thing.
Listen, I get it, and praise God for me. I just had COVID 2 weeks ago, and we survived it. And let me tell you, COVID sucks. I will say that we were blessed that my wife and I, neither one of us had COVID up until 2 weeks ago. So thank God we didn't get the first strand, which was the one taking everybody out.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate that it's still affecting people, but we all have lost somebody to COVID. I've lost about 3 or 4 family members to COVID, you know, my uncle, my cousin, um, and a few other people. You know, it's a terrible thing. So when you told me that you had a unexpected death in the family, man, you know, I've definitely been praying for you, and I hope that you are recovering. Um, and I'm just happy to see you here, man. You know, I wish
Yeah.
you were on video to say what's up, but I get it.
Yeah, my condolences to the family.
Yeah, condolences.
Neil.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
So, Lamont, you were going to say something or share something?
Yeah, I was sharing my screen, basically giving you an example of what I was doing in regards to website design, and then the graphic design as well. So just kind of adding to that. So we have an array of skill sets amongst all of us. You know, I think all of us are great speakers. We know how to present, so that's really that's a good skill set to have. You know, especially when you have a whole team of people who's able to do that. That's one of the reasons why I want to pull on Tyrone, and I also want to pull on O'Neill to do presentations like this. And Joe Scott will be doing a lot more of these, because honestly, that was an excellent presentation. Honestly, the way you presented, the way you broke things down. One things that I will definitely be taking up away from that, and if you can for me, you gave different examples of, you said don't use, you know, the jargon, the insurance jargon, insurance terminology. Instead, use, you know, layman's terms. And you said something that just made so much sense. How about, you know, utilizing a funeral budget, or however you put that?
Oh, prepaid retirement.
Prepaid funeral, or prepaid burial,
Yes, a
or something
prepaid.
like that.
Yeah.
If you could give me the different, you know, correlations between the different insurances and the layman's terms. One, I want to post this so that everybody can have it. But two, so I can put it into my conversations. Because honestly, we are to be the resident experts. But what happens is sometimes we kind of talk over people's heads, and we lose business like that. But if we can talk the talk that they're listening to and understand the language that they're familiar with, I think we can really pull them and capture them. So that was excellent when you kind of did that.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
That's that. I also want to challenge everybody on here, including myself. And then also want to challenge those that will be listening in on this training as well. My challenge is, let's go for 10, right? Let's go for 10. Let's speak to 10 people within the next 2 weeks. And I'm saying 2 weeks because, yeah, we want to, you know what, within the next month, right? Because we want to make this 21 days into a habit. So if we do it for the next month, every week for the next month, hopefully it will now, the following month, become habit, right? Yeah. So let's shoot for 10 people. And how do we shoot for those 10 people? We're going to start this week. We're going to shoot for 10 people this week. And then shoot for 10 people the next week, and then shoot for 10 people the following. Let's speak to 10 people. Let's get them. You gave so many tips. Do people know what I do? Do my friends and my family know what I do? Do the leaders in my life know what I do? Do my pastors? Do my doctors? You know, does the deli person that I go to every morning that sees me, you know, does the grocer, the cashier, do they know what we do? Because I think half the battle is, we don't have to speak for ourselves. It's the word of mouth that we got to get into our brains. And that's what something that honestly your teaching kind of showed me today. I don't have to do the work. If I can put the information in someone else's hands, and then they can speak on behalf of me, boom. Another thing that resonated with me, Joe, is the meetups and getting out there. The meetup.coms and all these different commerces that you can be a part of. I like how you said that, you know, you went, you had dinner, and you had a conversation. It wasn't necessarily about the business, but you're building rapport. So then you say, hey, by the way, do you know what I do? What is it that you do? Now you can kind of segue from that commonality into something else. They may be somebody that you don't, you know, does something else outside of your business, but that's what you want. I was listening to TD Jakes' message, and I think I shared it with Jujo, and he was saying that if you look in your phone, and if your phone has, he says that I can bet that if I look into your phone has more contacts that do exactly what you do than anything else. And he said that's the wrong thing. You want to make sure that you have contacts in your phone that don't do what you do, right? That broadens your territory and your horizon. So now you're the person that they're gonna go to. And so I got like, all right, so we're doing all the same business, right? And we get around one person. Guess what? That one person now has a choice to choose between one of us, and we're crossing our fingers hoping it's us, right? But if we do something totally different, I need a haircut, I need a barber, right? I need a dentist, I need an eye doctor, and I need an insurance agent. Guess what? Insurance agent covered, eye doctor covered. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we want, and that's the premise of what TD Jakes was saying. So kudos. Thank you, Joe. You did your thing, and my challenge again to everyone: can I get a raise of hands, even if it's a virtual hand? Would you be opposed, or would you join the 1 month challenge to speak to 10 people a week for 1 month? I'm going to start off by saying yes.
Yes.
All right. And it can be a virtual hand. O'Neal, it's up to you. But yeah, so far we got 3, but I really want to be able to push that. Let that be the message, Joe. If you want to share that with the team NLB, and then also yours as well. But let that be the message. I mean, let's, and let's follow up. And guess what? On top of that, we'll put some incentives behind it. So we got trips, we got vacations, and we got we got trips, vacations, hotels, and restaurant coupons and stuff like that I can give away.
Right.
Man, it's good to be a part of the NLB. I tell you, boy.
This Joe guy, this Joe Scott guy.
I'm just saying, man. I like being a part of this team. Like NLB got Monty.
Yeah.
So